Welcome to another episode of the 89 Reviews. We're not even hosts at this point. We're the two people that you dragged in from the outside.
No, I think we are being dragged in because we watched White Lotus.
At work.
You're not supposed to expose us like that.
No, it's okay.
Yes,
Our bosses don't watch this.
And it was research.
Technically, yes.
Yeah,
it is part of. It was
this.
research for this. So what did we do? We downloaded the finale.
The season finale of season 3.
Yeah.
And we watched it for research purposes at the office. So
all 90 minutes of it.
Okay.
Uninterrupted. With a few interruptions.
Yeah.
And people coming in and making videos of us watching.
And also people talking, which was quite annoying because you had to go like this and try to hear what was going on. But I say before we start the season 3,
recap.
review, let's just go and compare season 3 as a whole to season 2 and 1.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on season 3?
I honestly, when I first started off season 3, I was super excited. And then slowly, as the episodes went by, my excitement went lower and lower and got replaced by rage and anger, which is like most people on the internet. I hadn't seen the reviews on the internet because I was saving the episodes.
Same.
I wasn't watching week by week. I saved a whole bunch and then I watched a whole bunch and then I had like 2 left. So I had to wait for the last 2. But rage, anger, and also just general annoyance because I was like, I feel like, because there's been so much time between season 1, then season 2, then now season 3 that I tend to forget that I felt all of these emotions in the first 2 seasons also.
So I'm going to go on a completely separate path.
Of course.
And say that when I started White Lotus, I thought it was done. I thought season 1, 2, 3 was done. I thought season 3 was the last season.
Oh, so you started from scratch?
I started from scratch 2 weeks ago maybe. And I had no idea that season 3 wasn't even complete. So I watched season 1, I watched season 2, I started season 3, this all in a span of 2 days.
Right.
And then I'm on season 3.
It was Ramzan. Binge watching.
And I finished episode 6, I think, which I thought would have been the last episode because the previous seasons had,
6 episodes each.
And I watched episode 6 and I was like, this is seeming incomplete. And then I Googled it and they're like episode 7, episode 8, and I was like, yeah. Then I was a bit confused. Then I Googled and it said, oh, they're about to be released.
Yeah.
And I've never had a show in my life where I've waited for an episode. I always watch stuff really late.
Gen Z.
So I was like, oh, I'm really excited.
I am from the era where we had to wait every week for a new episode to come out because there was no streaming.
No, but even if there's streaming, you have to wait, right? For me, it was like always months later. Like Game of Thrones, I'm still watching.
No, but they've ruined you, right? Streaming's kind of, this is completely off topic and forgive me, Gen Zs out there, don't hate on me. But like streaming has ruined you guys because you guys get an entire season sometimes to binge watch all in one go on Netflix, which is what happens, or Amazon or wherever.
I'll tell you, I usually don't watch series. I think what made me stick with White Lotus, honestly, season 1 soundtrack. I watched season 1, I heard the sound, I fell in love. And I think that made
I
me
wish you
finish.
had watched the first season when it first came out, and then so a big part of watching these shows is also like tracking the memes and all of that, right? So like a big part of season 1 was people dancing to the soundtrack.
No way.
Oh my god, you've missed out on so much. Let me send you some right after this.
No.
It was epic. People dancing to that soundtrack, like all kinds of people from all over the world dancing to that soundtrack. Epic.
The first one was in Hawaii. The one, it was
First one was Hawaii.
Yeah.
Second one was
Italy somewhere.
And now the third one is Thailand.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to where we, like at the end of this, where we think they're gonna go next. Realistically.
You know what, Bali?
No.
Okay.
They've done the islands now. Now they've got to move out of the islands. Okay, since we're already on the topic, I've read theories, but also I think they're going to Europe because there's a lot of there was hints being dropped and stuff. They're going to go to Europe, but I think they're going to go to maybe a colder region. Maybe they might just do it in the mountains or somewhere like snow and whatnot.
That's so boring.
For you,
I find White Lotus is a very jungly,
perfect
even the
premise
sound
for death.
That's true, but maybe that's a bit too on the nose, right? It's like a mountain death. Oh.
But to be fair, Mike White doesn't like cold.
Who's Mike White?
The dude who's made it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
See, I just listened and I watched.
The white dude, the very white dude who's made the show, Mike White, he doesn't like the cold, so he may not go there. You never know, he might just end up in Australia or Cuba
or he might just do
else.
like, virtual directing, sitting from home and on Zoom. I never know.
No.
But okay, let's discuss season 3.
Let's get into the season. And okay, first things first, what did you like about the season? What did you not like about the season? Top 3.
Loved that auntie, the mom,
Parker Posey.
The pill popping mummy.
So basically, the replacement to the first 2 seasons, Jennifer Coolidge.
And I will get a lot of hate for this. Upgrade.
For God's
Upgrade
sakes.
from Jennifer Coolidge. I love Jennifer Coolidge. She's been in a lot of my childhood movies, but I think she's just like it was just getting too much.
She's so good. She's a whole other level.
No, and that's what I felt.
Good.
The rest of the show was not.
And so when they killed her off, it broke everyone's heart. And I was convinced they would bring her back somehow, like as a ghost or some sort of like.
I was so happy I didn't see her this season.
I was convinced that they would bring her back.
I was really hoping that Alexandra.
I think we just gave. Oh, sorry. I think we just gave off spoilers.
Oh yeah. Spoilers for season 1.
My bad, because one of our producers just had a meltdown in the corner, and I was wondering what happened. Spoiler. Sorry. Spoiler alert. Parker Posey is also. I mean, if they had to replace Jennifer Coolidge's character with another very quirky, impactful character, it would have to be Parker. It can't be anyone else.
You showed me a meme this morning about I think Amber showed me a meme this morning. It was of Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And she's a lot like her now.
She's the only one. Like Moira would have been perfect also, but she can't play that role again. She's already done such a brilliant job in Schitt's Creek that you cannot repeat that.
You can't
that performance.
that.
Yeah.
And I feel like this performance had an individuality of its own with her, and I feel like she fit this character of that Texan style mom, and she's like, what would she say? She's just, I think she was the best character by far this entire season.
Pass me the lorazepam. She was too good. She was too good, but also I feel like the casting as a whole was all 3 seasons.
No.
The casting has been great.
I hated Gappak. I hated him.
How can you hate his sweet little soft face?
I think that's why I hated it.
He has such a soft face. Bro, but that was his vibe.
Why did you leave an unattended gun in the room and then go drop your girlfriend at the gate?
Okay, I'm going to
lock it in the door.
Fair, but that was he had to go through that panic situation and then also grow some backbone to go and find the gun and all of that. He went through it. He went through it.
Through no fault of
He had a lot of emotions and he had character arc, okay? Whatever you say.
What is his character arc?
He
shot a bullet?
He was
a security guard.
Soft little Buddhist.
If you're a soft little Buddhist.
What was the last scene? He was sitting in the front seat. He made it. And he got I'm sure he got the girl also because he got a promotion.
Just sitting there. He looked like a little bacha sitting in front, like, I'm going out, mama.
On him for no reason. Poor little soft guy.
Horrible.
The one character I think that really didn't need to be there, and I'm so sorry, K-pop fans.
Yeah. His girlfriend.
What was her name?
I don't know. I just know Kaptok. What was her name?
Lisa. But what was Mook? What was the point of view? Mook.
Useless.
I mean, they hyped her so much before the season. I thought she was going to be the murderer.
And I thought she would have had some connection with the Russian guy.
Yeah.
What was his name? Valentin.
Yeah. Valentin. Or the 3 Russian
There was
dudes.
something, I thought she's a big character. Nothing.
She was literally just there to push Softy into being harder. So that she could,
really.
Yeah, the whole time she was like, you need to be promoted because I will not marry you if you're not promoted. To that level.
No, but when he
said
bodyguard
level.
When he said I'm going to become bodyguard, she was like, you're going to leave the town. And she was really upset about it.
No, but she was secretly really happy because she was like, promotion, money, now I'll marry you. Otherwise, who are you? You're just a guard sitting at a gate.
Hey, don't say into the guard.
No, I'm just saying, no disrespect. I'm just saying that's how her brain works. She was fascinated by the other dudes there.
Because they were fascinating. They had their earpieces and everything. And he was just sitting there, I lost the gun.
Anyways, useless character in the entire series. I mean, she was even more useless than that other dude whose life's purpose was to sing in the in their talent show. Fabian.
Oh, no, I think Fabian was such an important character. I think the way Fabian fell down, I think
He
in episode
deserves
8.
a dramatic award just for that last fall when he fell into the water when the gunshot started going. That little flap of his arms, the way he fell backwards.
And it's very natural.
There's a meme also. We're going to put that meme up. It was too good. It was just epic. How many of you find Rick attractive? Because we have someone in our office who refuses to be on camera but is standing right behind this camera who made this revelation that there's something about him.
No, but you know, I actually
don't
saw
see it.
articles about it as well that they said men with receding hairlines are back in fashion because of Rick. And there was like a whole article, I think, I forgot which magazine it was, but it was a thing. I disagree completely. Not with the receding hairline, but with Rick being just unattractive.
We actually spent like 10 minutes of that, watching that finale, just ripping on our friend, being like, seriously, this guy?
Yeah,
look at his hair, it's standing up. The sun is hitting his spot in all kinds of ways.
He just looks very like a misna or something.
Yeah, just like crybaby.
I'm so sad with life.
My life
dad
is so sad.
But,
my life was destroyed by a dude. But excellent plot point though.
An excellent character arc.
Full arc.
Because the way he went after everything before he shot, and can I just say, this is why it's important to have a good therapist. Because if his therapist had allowed him to come inside for a session, the season finale would not have happened.
I saw a meme that said the true villain of White Lotus season 3, that therapist.
And she was like, I need to get this other guy a session.
She also ditched the dude in the end.
Yeah.
She got up and ran so fast.
No, but that's fair. Like if there's someone flying bullets, you're going to be like, your mum booked you a session, so I'm just going to sit and talk to you.
She's a stress relief therapist.
But I think overall, you had that storyline. You had what was that family name? Parker?
Also, pause. That last scene where they're just floating in the water, how beautifully shot was that scene.
Amazing.
The cinematography and the compilation of that entire scene with her on her back and him just like looking up, it was just...
That never looked so beautiful.
With the lily plant thing floating.
The leaves.
They're like lily leaves, aren't they?
I don't know.
Anyways, we don't do. This is why we do this and not gardeners. I was gonna say.
But I think overall that was one really nice plot.
Overall, so these are the things that people love about this.
Also another useful
the music
plot. Another completely useful plot in my opinion. Those three friends.
Useless.
They had nothing to do with the finale.
Useless plot.
But you know what I feel they added them for?
No, they added them for that. You know how shows do this thing where they're so woke and they like try to insert like certain things into shows nowadays because they have a checklist.
Yeah.
I'm very big on this, annoyed by this checklist kind of situation because it kind of ruins it. So they inserted them to show strong female friendships.
I disagree.
That's it. That's the only reason they inserted. No, that's their arc.
I think they added them to confuse us, right? We knew first episode.
But we wanted all three of them to die.
Yeah, no. I really like Jack. She was really cool. Okay?
Which one is she?
The main pop star.
Oh, the one paying for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But listen, I think overall, if you see it, you start off the season with a lot of gunshots, right? And you think, okay, a lot of deaths are going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're trying to think who is the death. I think they added those girls to get you emotionally connected to every character or invested even if not connected. And then the last episode, you're like, okay, there's a billion people.
They have
probably
to.
About 4 or 5
no, but
deaths.
every season there has to be groups of characters that then intertwine their lives.
But this time there were a lot more.
There was a lot of intertwining also. I feel like the previous seasons they intertwined the characters better and it flowed a little bit better. Whereas in this season, not so much. In this season, it was like the way I compare it in my head was season 1 of Lost, where everyone is intertwined, and like all those good seasons of Lost, and then the last few seasons of Lost.
What's Lost?
Moving on. The characters were intertwined. Yes, they did eventually, but they did it towards the end. So for the first 5 episodes, everyone was on their own journey. They were in their own little villas or on their own.
I don't know.
Thing. Yeah, most of them.
The 2 kids, the 2 sons of that family.
Yeah,
them with the Greg side and all.
Yeah, okay, fine. But it was very brief, right? Like
and
moments. They were like,
they're
in the same resort, so they're hanging out.
True.
but like their lives weren't really intertwined.
That's true.
Like there wasn't a lot of overlapping and layering and whatnot
Like,
up until the last 3 episodes.
The best example I have of this would be season 1 when Alexandra Daddario goes and she sits down with the mother of that, and she's actually done an article on her in the past.
Yeah.
That just goes to show the long connections they try to establish.
Yes,
over there.
yes.
Over here, it was a lot more surface level.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
surface level.
When,
and I
like
don't
you
know
said,
why
when the
it
same
was so
resort
surface
hanging out.
level. I mean, yeah, fine, they were all from different corners of whatever, wherever, but like they could have done a little bit more with, because that's the premise of the show. The whole show is about cinematography,
Soundtrack.
mingling of
Even
the
soundtrack, by
characters
the
and
way,
stuff, and the soundtrack.
Season 3 soundtrack was lame.
Yeah.
I think compared to season 1,
But the sound design
yeah.
was so
And
good.
especially the
Now, please give them
Oh.
the difference between sound design and soundtrack. So soundtrack is what you hear at the title soundtrack. The sound design is the little bits that you hear in between each episode, where to show like suspense or to show like excitement or show,
And I think-
and that build up of that, like what they did with using like the elements from Thailand, like where you had those. I obviously have forgotten all the names of all the instruments that are indigenous to Thailand or anywhere
in the world.
islandy.
Yeah.
But those sounds actually like were brilliantly
And
done
I
in
think
this
they
one.
also
I didn't like
paired-
the Italy sound design. I preferred this sound design.
I think I also prefer this. I think Italy was the lowest, but I think the soundtrack was the worst
Title
of this
soundtrack,
one.
100%.
And I think the beauty of the show overall, over all 3 seasons, what I loved the most, I think, was the way they paired visual stuff
Yeah.
with sound, and also the contrast of it. So you'd have like a really like and a very intense visual, and the next visual is just a villa.
Yeah.
And quiet.
Silence with the little koel in the back and all the screaming monkeys. The one thing I was really disappointed about, they didn't use the monkeys.
They didn't. But what did you expect? The monkeys take out a gun and they're the ones shooting like.
Listen, my favorite theory was that the monkeys attack and kill all of them. That was my favorite theory
And
that I
then
read on the internet.
the sequel to this would be Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Ah.
That's already happening.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to say that that's
Those
a
are
useless
apes.
plot
These are
point.
monkeys. Monkeys are
No, I think what actually bothered
more
me was
intense.
there was a lot of threes, as you guys mentioned yesterday, that we discussed about.
So, justice for what was her name? Rick's girlfriend? Chelsea.
Yeah.
Justice for Chelsea. I think Chelsea was like the moral center of this entire season.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being moral centers in the previous 2 seasons, but she was the moral center. She was also kind of like a premonition, kind of like a, because everything that she talked about, also, poor girl, man, rough time.
No,
her boyfriend got bit by snakes. She was mean
chose
to her
that guy,
constantly.
dude.
Yeah, but like rough time.
See the red flags. You're trying to save him. Okay, the savior complex will stand right there. There's no justice for Chelsea.
No one said
She
that
got
she's
what
not
she
damaged.
deserved.
No, nobody said she's not damaged.
Then she should go for the therapy
Clearly
sessions
she's
instead
damaged.
of sending him.
But at least she's positive about her damage.
No.
And
I
she's
disagree.
taking it in a positive light, and she's sticking to her guns, and she's sticking with a guy that she truly loves.
But she doesn't truly love him.
She does truly
said
love him.
we
She
just
gave up
feel
her
good.
life
She
for
said
him.
we're connected because of something she saw.
The universe
Yeah,
and
it's the
spirituality and bad things come in threes. Poor thing. She predicted it.
Also notice, she first time what happened, the robbery. That was her first almost dying. Second was the snake almost dying. Third time she actually did die.
Yeah.
Because they never actually showed a bad. I just thought there was no bad incident that happened with her till this.
Fair.
I think this was, if I can be honest and just conclude with one thing, I would say the script was really well done.
No.
And I think it was
You know,
bit too well done.
one of
I
the-
think in execution, I think the story, they thought of all the links and everything, and they tried to get it as linked and all, but I feel like in execution, it was like, I think this is probably something the director probably thought of, the writer probably thought of, they were like, oh yeah, third one, she's gonna die. But I feel like a lot of stuff didn't land because you had too much going on.
I think where they went wrong was that they probably in the writer's room or wherever, or director's room or whatever, they sat down and they were focused too much attention on the nuances and on the which is what makes the show. The show is nuances. The show is Easter eggs and this and that, and that's why people keep coming back to it and keep watching it. But I think the bad things come in threes, and we're going to kill 3 people off because it's also season 3. They focused too much on that,
But they didn't
banking
kill
on that surprise factor. But what they didn't realize was that somewhere along the way, the plot kind of went a little too haywire because they did
Yeah.
they tried to put in too much. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
I think
and
they
the
did
biggest
overkill.
criticism of season 3 was the plot. Not all the other things. People still love the show for all of the other things. We also watched each and every episode for all of those other things. Like, even though I was annoyed at the pace of it, even though I was annoyed at the fact
Very
that
slow.
there was like, give me something, like it's been 5 episodes and you're still just sitting there and staring and
you're waiting for something
moving in
big
slow
to happen.
motion. Give me something more.
And you had a lot of
Like, give me a tease.
a lot of time, a lot of build up on a lot of irrelevant things. Like, for example, those girls, one of them sleeping with the friend, the other one sleeping with this. Like, I think we spent 2.5 episodes just discussing that, whereas that was not.
I feel like it's also an HBO thing where they unnecessarily, like, this is the checklist again, unnecessarily put in certain things. Like, put a scene in unnecessarily, put nudity in unnecessarily. Like, it's not subtle, it doesn't flow, and so it kind of comes out at you. Like, there were a lot of moments which we will not discuss here because family friendly. Yeah. Because you watch the PG version.
I'm a good boy. So, yeah.
So,
but I feel.
wrap it up.
Yeah, to wrap it up, it was nice. I'm hoping season 4 is nothing like
How'd you
season
rate
3.
it?
Season 3?
Yeah.
7.5 out of 10. Yeah.
I'm giving it a hard 6.
Whoa.
It only made it to 6 because of all the
entertained
things
me.
that I liked.
But it did entertain me, and that is why I believe 7.5
Yeah,
was good.
cinematography, sound design, some of the characters, but also the other thing that I didn't like about it, because I did not fall in love with any of the characters. Like I did in the first 2 seasons, there was always like 2-3 people that I was invested in their thing. In this one, I mean, yes, I loved Parker Posey. I loved.
Can I actually tell you who I was invested in?
That's it. That's the only one I liked.
But should I tell you who I was actually invested in? The girl, Parker
Kaito-
Posey's daughter.
Kaito.
No, whether she was gonna stay or not at the monastery.
For God's sake.
That was honestly
Also-
all I was thinking about.
Oh my God.
did she stay
By the
or
way,
not?
that was such a lame
That's what I'm saying.
plot
I think,
twist.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was just unnecessary and useless.
It was there for comic relief, but it also was, it landed really badly. Like they could have done it so much better. Like they could have had her have a breakdown in the monastery, being like, oh my God, get me out of here, right? They could have done all of that, but they didn't. So,
Missed opportunities. Script was a bit too overdone in my opinion. It was overcooked, if you could say that.
Yeah.
It did
but
not.
I feel like
well.
that happens, right? Like
It happens. That's what I'm saying.
by
Season 1 was great. Season 2 was okay, good. Season 3 was a bit of a letdown. I'm hoping season 4 is at least good again. So yeah.
The Alps.
The Alps.
The Swiss Alps.
No. that
I'm
would be
telling you, it'll be Australia, it'll be the Swiss Alps. Let's just make the
Should do
prediction
Kimani.
right now. You know what? I read somewhere on the internets that they should actually have countries bid for like
Where
the
it
next
is,
season, like the Olympics does it. They should actually have countries.
Fair enough.
We should totally bid.
Because
imagine if they come here.
Thailand's tourism has
Did
gone
you say
up.
Coach Report, the resorts?
Yeah, Coach Resorts.
Nice.
Yeah, But I'm saying Thailand's overall tourism has really boosted up because of this.
Yeah.
So I feel countries could actually.
So did
bid,
Hawaii.
it'd be
So
fun.
did like all of like the Four Seasons gets like they hike up their prices every time a White Lotus
shot
comes
over
through.
there.
So
Okay, done. So we are going to bid for the next White Lotus season 4. I think it's already been shot.
Coach
Season 5.
2027.
Yeah, Coach Resorts. I think would be great.
Yeah.
But let us know what you guys think in the comments about season 3, or maybe even just compare season 3 to season 2 and 1.
And Mike White, if you need advisors,
Right
really
here.
good,
Right here.
who really know how to like
Give you friends
pick
and
on
family
the
discount as well.
nuances.
No
Who
problem.
come for free too.
No,
At this point in
not
time.
me. Okay, thank you for tuning in. For more reviews on 89, please subscribe to CityFM89.
Put down in the comments the next thing you want us to review. We can always come back and review whatever you want us to kind of break down.
Bye bye. See you.